Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From my drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Ziggy Guns never fail.
What is up, Fantasy Football Fiends? My name is Ziggy Guns, along with
JT Magnum.
And today it is week 5. We're going to be talking about our studs, duds, and Papa Sons, as well as some waiver wire pickups of the week. And we'll talk a little bit maybe about what happened on Monday night. But first, what do you think, JT? Waiver wire pickups.
Well, we always do 2 each. So let's start with the quarterbacks and Matt Castle. He did very well against Pittsburgh. He had a pretty good game. And he ran the offense much better than Ponder. So,
oh yeah,
if you're in need of a quarterback on a bye week and you have no quarterbacks, then I would definitely say, pick him. But I think he's on a bye week actually, right? No, he is actually on a bye week. So if you want, if you're in need of a quarterback, don't pick up Matt Castle. But if you need to pick up a quarterback badly and your quarterback's hurt or your quarterbacks suck, then you might want to pick him up just for the next week. But if not, probably not.
Christian Ponder.
Yeah.
If your quarterback is Christian Ponder, you should be worried. Obviously, he's probably not going to be your starter anyways. He's probably just going to be a backup or maybe a deep league third quarterback, depending on your league setup. But certainly, Matt Castle's a name that's interesting because he pretty much got the blessing of AP to go ahead and be the starter. So that's going to be a quarterback controversy for sure going forward. We've always talked about earlier that Christian Ponder just doesn't seem to have it all together. He did play well the last couple of weeks before this, and we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right, who's next?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I say no. If you've seen him on the Buffalo Bills, then you would know what I mean, but he's horrible. No, do not start or do not pick up Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't care if you need a quarterback. If you need a quarterback, find somebody else.
Well, I mean, a lot of people had Jake Locker as their backup. He started playing real good, and
yeah.
I mean, you got to have somebody to replace him with. And since Matt Castle's
pick up somebody else, and they're playing the Chiefs. Pick up somebody else.
That's true. That's true. There, Fitzpatrick though he can throw for yards. The only problem with him, obviously, is he turns over the ball a lot, also. So. Beware, proceed with caution. How about that?
Yes, proceed with caution. Lots of caution. As in, don't pick him up. For running backs, I have Danny Woodhead. And I like him. I like him a lot, especially this week against Oakland.
I like Danny Woodhead a lot also. I've always liked Woodhead. He used to be a Jet, and one of the biggest mistakes I've ever thought was when they dropped him for nothing, keeping McKnight instead. Man, Woodhead, I don't even know why New England dropped him. This is what he does. He is a Darren Sproles light. He can catch. I mean, he's a great receiving running back. I mean, did you see those 2 catches he got? I mean, those were awesome catches.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them was over the shoulder. I mean, he can catch the ball, and I mean, as long as he keeps doing what he does, he's going to get more and more opportunities. And I see him being just as good, if not the same, as Darren Sproles' production going forward. So pick him up for sure.
Yeah, I like him. Pick him up if you can get him. And here's another interesting pickup this week. Willis McGahee. I actually like him this week because they're playing the Bills, and the Bills, like I said, always struggle against the run. And that Cleveland's going to need him this week. And he's a good short. He'll get you a couple touchdowns if they're near the goal line. So I really like Willis McGahee a lot.
I like Willis McGahee a lot. I don't like that his condition. You can tell he came off the couch last week.
Yeah.
He got tired real quick. I think he only had like 5 yards, right, rushing. I mean, for somebody that's
they were playing Cincinnati, so that still might have something to do with it.
That's true, but man, you can't even get 10 yards. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
You can tell he was just not ready. He's gonna get better. He's a physical guy. He's gonna be practicing. He's gonna know the plays, and eventually he'll be a good pickup, worthy of having though, because eventually he's going to be the only guy there running the ball. So, I mean, to have a starter for nothing, you might as well pick him up, especially if he's on the waiver right now.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Two wide receivers, Austin Pettis first, going against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he seems to have a much better rapport with Sam Bradford than even Tavon Austin. It seems like Sam Bradford trusts Austin Pettis more. So if you're in need of a wide receiver because you have a lot of people on bye week or something, whatever, then I would say he's a pretty good, decent number 3 wide receiver for you. If you're going to put him in the flex, or if you have one of 3 wide receiver leagues and you need one desperately, then yeah, pick him up. If not, then you can leave him on the bench, or leave him on the free agents.
Yeah, I think this week, there's going to be some interesting names out there. A lot of people are probably going to be dropping receivers because of the bye week. So some of the names out there would probably be guys like what's his name, Greg Jennings, who just had a good game, and other big names like that might be dropped. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and say to pick them up if you really need them. If you don't, take a chance with some of these guys that people might be dropping right now. I know some people already dropped T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, definitely. And the second receiver is Sidney Rice going against Indianapolis, and he's been having quietly, steady, good games. But Indianapolis has a rough time covering wide receivers, and I think that Russell Wilson, you're going to be keying on Marshawn Lynch a lot. You're going to see a lot of play action, a lot of deep throws to him and Doug Baldwin. So I think Sidney Rice is actually going to get a lot of balls this week.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say pick him up anyways because he is their number 1 now, pretty much. I think that as long as Russell Wilson starts throwing the ball more, whenever they don't have to, you see what happens with those receivers. They really don't have good games. But, obviously I would think that more teams are start keying in on Marshawn Lynch, and then when that happens, the receivers can get more opportunity.
Yep. And 2 tight ends, Coby Fleener's first, playing for Indianapolis, going against Seattle. A lot of people are trying to pick him up because he had a good game last week. I believe he caught a touchdown. I say do not pick him up. Seattle is one of the toughest teams against tight end. I know they gave up a touchdown last week to Garrett Graham, but they're still one of the toughest teams against tight ends, and they smother them. So I'm gonna say do not pick up Coby Fleener this week.
I'm going to say pick up Coby Fleener. This is 2 weeks in a row that he's had a touch. He actually had 2 touchdowns the week before, I think, or maybe it was just 1. I think one of them got called back. But it looks like he is going to be Andrew Luck's go-to guy on the red zone. And as long as that threat is there, you might as well take the shot because some of the tight ends you might have just aren't performing at all. And some of them, like right now, I would say Vernon Davis, even though he did get the touchdown, that's all he got, it seemed, was just that touchdown. So, I always rag on Davis because I have Davis.
I have Davis. I have Davis, too, in our league. And I didn't even start him. I start Jordan Cameron every game.
He's been the man.
He's been the man. So, the second tight end is Kellen Winslow. And I like him this week because that's the only option they have. Jets are all hurt. So if you need a tight end badly and you want somebody that's looking for a lot of touches, I think Kellen Winslow's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way this week just because there's nobody else to throw to.
Yeah, he should have a lot of targets. That's exactly what it is. So Jets, Santonio Holmes is out. Stephen Hill might not be cleared for the concussion. That leaves Jeremy Curley. That leaves Gates as the other receiver. And, we talked about some of these receivers you can pick up. I don't really trust the Jets that often with fantasy, but Kellen Winslow is the most reliable option. I would certainly say pick him up if you need a tight end for this week.
Yep. And for defenses, we're always going to pick whoever plays the Jaguars and Rams. And they'll probably be in the free agent list. Pick them up. They're playing Jacksonville Jaguars this week.
Yep, I agree. Pick up the Rams defense. They should do good. And, last week I picked up Colts because they were playing Jacksonville and they got a touchdown.
Yep. Pick them up. Anybody plays Jacksonville, pick them up until proven wrong first. But the second defense is the Falcons. Like we just said, Jets are missing wide receivers. Geno Smith does throw some interceptions. He's turnover prone. He had a second butt fumble ever for the Jets history last week.
I wouldn't necessarily call that one a butt fumble.
That was hilarious. He was trying to put the ball behind his back like he was in NBA Live. Come on, man. Yeah. So I think he probably made "Come on, man" on ESPN.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was on there.
But pick the Falcons this week. If they're in free agents, pick them up.
Yep, I agree. The Jets are going to be struggling. They have rookie quarterback with no receivers. Everybody saw what happened with Tom Brady with, questionable receivers. Now we have a Jets team with a questionable quarterback along with no receivers.
Yeah.
So that's just a recipe for turnovers. So yeah,
Yep.
Atlanta's defense should give you a monster game this week.
Yep. Now it's time for studs, duds, and papasans. And who's your stud this week?
My stud of the week is going to be Jordy Nelson. I think that the Packers, obviously, we've already seen what Manning's been doing. We see what Breeze has been doing, and now Aaron Rodgers, is probably wondering, man, what happened to me? Everybody's talking about them and not me. And I just got a feeling that against the Lions, it's going to be a shootout. It always is between those two teams, and I think Jordy Nelson's just going to have a monster game. I predict at least 140 yards receiving, 10 catches, maybe more, with 2 touchdowns. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, my stud of the week is Josh Gordon. He's going against the Bills. You saw what Torrey Smith did to him last week, even though they did lose. But fantasy football is not about winning and losing. It's about getting those points. So if you want a lot of targets, Josh Gordon gets a lot of targets, and the Bills have no corners. Their secondary is completely hurt. They can't cover deep balls. They are in trouble this week. Because Josh Gordon is going to run wild on him this week. I have a feeling he's going to go for like a $140 as well, maybe a couple touchdowns or a touchdown. But he's going to get you 20 points this week.
There you go. Who's going to be your dud of the week?
My dud of the week is Reggie Wayne going against Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner. I just think that he's going to have a rough do at it this week because he's one of those physical like route runners, and they're kind of the type of people that like to bang you up right at the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he's going to be able to deal with that kind of coverage. He never really did well with tight man-to-man coverage like that. So we'll see what happens, but I don't think he's in the Andre Johnson mold like I predicted last week. Which, by the way, 110 yards on 9 catches last week on Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner, whoever was covering him.
Yeah, he's just one of those uncoverables. You cheated. You picked the number 1 stud. I'm just playing. No, but that was a good call. My dud of the week is going to be Lamar Miller. A lot of people probably have him as their number 2 or flex running back against the Ravens this week. I just don't like the way he's been playing. He did get a touchdown last week, but it's looking like more they're starting to incorporate Martin into the red zone looks and short yardage situation, and then against a tough run defense. I mean, the Ravens still have that, to their name because of Suggs and all them. I just see a day where it's going to be very low yards, probably out of the end zone, and all in all, probably only 4 points for you, and you do not want that on your fantasy lineup for the week.
Yeah. Who's your sleeper of the week? Papa San. Who's your Papa San?
Papa San. Daenerys Moore, Oakland. I think that regardless of who it is, Flynn or Pryor, he's actually been playing pretty well. I bragged on him about his catching. Looks like he's finally catching the ball, not dropping all these passes, and he just has something that I think this year is what is going to make Oakland be competitive in games. Not necessarily mean they win games, but he's starting to show that he is a true number 1 receiver, and I got a feeling he's going to be a great one. Who did I pick last week? I think last week I picked somebody and he did good, didn't I? Says you want to take credit for Andre Johnson.
I'm not sure. I don't remember who was that. I don't remember who last week's Papa San was. But my Papa San this week is Ryan Matthews going against the Raiders. I think he's going to run wild this week. The Raiders, their defense sucks. So, I mean, they've been pretty okay against the run, I guess, this year. But I don't think they're going to. I think Ryan Matthews is finally going to have a nice breakout game.
Yeah, I can see it.
So that's it. Yeah.
Well,
Studs, duds, and Papa Sans.
Thursday night game. Cleveland Bills. Who you got?
I'm gonna say Cleveland because they got the better D.
I'm gonna go Browns also. There you go. That's it. That's our show for
we
you.
We keep picking against the Bills and they keep winning.
I know, right?
Keep proving us wrong. Yeah, you did. Yeah. All right, guys, don't forget to leave comments. Don't forget to leave all your questions in there. We try to get to them, like we said, the best we can. I've been all over that. So if you can, if you leave them in there, keep checking because usually I reply as fast as I can. All right? So take care. Fantasy Football Fiends, we out. Peace.